Hey buddies, SomeNutzGuy here. Hope you're having an awesome day so far. In this video, we're going to be talking about the best baubles that you can get in RLCraft. We're not going to be talking about a bunch of random ones of all the baubles that are in the game. We're going to be talking about the best baubles, in my opinion, the ones that I'm going to be working towards having at the end game, and the ones that once I have everything I need, I'm going to be running all through the end game for all the bosses and dungeons and all that good stuff. So you can see on my character, I've got all these little extra gimmicks on. You can see a pickaxe there, you can see a quiver of arrows, you can see this strange little necklace, which looks like it could be part of my skin, but it's actually not, it's a bauble. So I'll have a look at my baubles. These are my end game baubles. Not everyone will necessarily agree. Some people swear by the Pendant of the Sea, or, you know, some people like to use the fairy ring as an example, but these are the ones that I use end game after sort of 200 to 300 hours of RLCraft. So, starting from the top, you know, the most obvious, we've got the Dragon's Eye. The Dragon's Eye is fantastic. The Dragon's Eye gives you night vision, which is toggleable. You can go to your keybinds, and for all of these things, you'll probably want to check the keybinds in the settings. There's a lot of different controls. A lot of them are overlapping for RLCraft because of multiple mods. You see all these red ones are overlapping. But if you're ever unsure of keybinds, make sure you jump in here and you can change those. So I changed the activation of my night vision. In fact, it's just N by default, and I think it's still N for me. So I can hit N and turn on and off my night vision. This will also make you immune to fire and lava, and it will also have the ability to allow you to search for specific ores. Again, I've changed the keybind for that. I think it's numpad. I honestly can't remember where I put it, but when you set up the right keybind for it and you press it, in the bottom left corner where the chat window is, it'll come up with saying, hey, you're looking for this resource, and you keep pressing it until you cycle through to the resource that you're looking for. And when you've got that selected and you walk near that ore, you'll hear a little bit of a dragon roar, and you'll see a blue blip right next to where that ore is. You can see it through walls as well. It's like X-ray vision for ores, but it's legit. So the Dragon's Eye is a very obvious one. You're fighting dragons, you're going anywhere where lava is, Dragon's Eye is going to be the one to go for. Now, a lot of people use the Stone of the Sea. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the Stone of the Sea. The Stone of the Sea does do a couple of nice things. I think you can move faster in water, you don't have to drink as frequently, you don't get that funny green effect on your water when you drink unpurified water. But I think the Wrath Pendant is just very strong. It gives you +2 damage always, and it grants a sinful buff, which is increased damage and increased armor after you deal a critical hit. When you up your skills and your stats and you're hitting crits quite frequently, then, you know, you're just going to be getting a bunch of extra damage and armor pretty much all the time. So that's why I use the Hardy Wrath Pendant. Remember, guys, you can use your JEI menu to figure out how to build any of these items. But as an example, the Wrath Pendant uses a Sin Pendant, some bones, and a mob's head. So, moving on to the rings. So these are a couple of rings. Again, you can kind of pick and choose what you might want to go, but I go for one of regeneration, one of resistance, and one of regeneration. Now, the resistance ring is quite easy to get early on. So early to mid-game, I'll actually use two potion rings of resistance in a lot of cases. Where's the Mr. Resistance? You could also pick up, so you do need diamonds for the potion ring of resistance, but the potion ring of regeneration requires gas tears and a nether star. So that's something you can pick up a little bit later. The potion ring of resistance is going to reduce the damage you receive by 20% for each ring. It does stack, so if you have 2, it reduces your damage by 40%, which is pretty phenomenal. The regeneration ring, again, will stack, so you could pick up 2 rings of regeneration if you wanted, and it will give you regeneration 1 for each ring that you have. So you can mix and match your regenerations, your resistances, pick one, whichever you think is going to be best. I just have one of each because I like to reduce some damage and then get some healing. But again, that's completely up to you guys. Some people might pick a fairy ring or a dwarf ring for whatever reason. Again, these are just the ones that I use. Now onto the slightly more interesting or gimmicky ones. So we got the heavy arrow quiver. Now the arrow quiver is not essential, but it's really nice and convenient. The heavy arrow quiver can passively supply arrows to the user. So if I have this on my back and I pull out a bow, it's going to automatically pull out an arrow into my left hand, and I don't have to have arrows in my inventory because the arrows are contained in the quiver. If you see it says currently contains that many arrows, and it has a max capacity of 9 stacks. This will also automatically collect arrows on the floor. So you can see ammo collect enabled. That means it will be automatically picking up arrows off the floor and supplying them or holding them in the quiver for you. Now with this, it can be a little bit confusing. Put this into your hand and right click to see the contents and be able to move it in and out. And to enable, you see it says ammo collect enabled. To enable your ammo collect, you'll need to put it in your hand, crouch, and then right click. It says at the bottom, ammo collection disabled. Now ammo collection enabled. So you want to have that enabled so you can automatically collect arrows. Now the Ank Shield. This one's quite difficult to get. This is one of the ones that you can grind for, and it's very, very powerful. As you can see, it grants partial fire resistance, immunity knockback, and most negative status effects when held or equipped in a bauble slot. You can hold this as a shield as well, but I prefer to just passively have it on my back as, can I see it? Can I see it on my back? Yeah, you can see it on your back there. To get the passive benefits, and this is going to remove all negative effects like poison, slows, knockbacks, pretty much any negative effect you can get. This is going to counteract that. Now, the reason this is so difficult to get is it's a combination of lots of different baubles, and that's why it can be a bit of a grind. If we check our Ank Charm here, the Ank Charm, which is a prerequisite for the Ank Shield, takes all of these items. Even this item requires even a combination of items there. So you'll need to collect all of these items from various different places, and you collect them in different ways. As an example, the vitamins will be collected off of Elder Guardians. I think the Ring of Free Action, which is crafted with a Shulker Heart and Ring of Overclocking. This is obviously gained from Shulkers, but this is gained from the Frosty Bowmen, I'm not sure what they're actually called, in the Frost biomes. It can be a somewhat rare drop, so if you ever get a Blood Moon, get yourself up to a snow biome and start farming those Frosty Bowmen. And hopefully you'll get a Ring of Overclocking to get the Ring of Free Action, which will help you get the Ank Charm, which will ultimately help you get the Ank Shield. Now, you'll also need the Obsidian Shield to get the Ank Shield. So the Ank Shield, as you can see, is a combination between the Ank Charm and the Obsidian Shield. The Obsidian Shield is a combination between the Cobalt Shield and the Obsidian Skull. To make a Cobalt Shield is quite simple. You can just fill the area around a shield with Spectral Silt to get this, and then you can craft the Obsidian Skull this way, or you can loot it from dungeons, I believe. Combine all of those things, all of these things, there's so much to it, combine them all into an Ank Shield. And the Ank Shield, like I said, is very strong. Gives you immunity to pretty much all negative effects, partial fire resistance, but you don't need that because you've got your Dragon's Eye, and yeah, it also functions as a regular shield and can be repaired in an anvil with obsidian. I don't actually ever use it as a shield, because I'm so strong at this point of the game because of all of the stuff that I have. I just don't really die. The tool belt is another really handy one. This will allow you to carry multiple tools in one slot, or without taking up a slot at all. So if you have it here, you can right click here and access this storage here where you can plant these tools, or you can have this equipped in your belt slot and have a keybind to bring up a radial scroll wheel. So I can pick this up, I can put it back in, I can take this out instead, all without having to mess around, just with a simple keybind and a radial wheel, which is pretty fantastic if you ask me. And that's pretty much it. That's the end game baubles that I would use. I have also just done a reforging guide, which will help you to learn how to reforge all your armor and reforge your baubles. You see I've got undying qualities and either hardy or menacing as the secondary bauble quality. And that's going to add additional layers of strength and power. I'll put the link for that video up in the top right corner for you guys, on how you can reforge these and make it even more powerful. I hope you liked the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content, if you want to see more content like this, consider subscribing, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video. Hope you all have an awesome day. Take care.